Hello, Tyler Rowland here. I'm coming to you from Teays Valley Christian High School, and with me here is the men's head basketball coach, James Christian, and to say the least, this team probably is on cloud nine right now because they just won the national championship for the NACA, the National Association of Christian Athletics, which has featured several Division I talents over the years, and they are also the first team from West Virginia to win this. And Coach, talk about your season and just what this has meant to you, because man, what an accomplishment for you, for the school, the team, for the state.
Thanks, Tyler. Yeah, it is. We've we've worked hard all year long. You got to see us in the AIT, of course, when we were lucky enough to play over there for Coach Mays and national tournaments. So we played a really tough schedule gearing towards nationals. Having the goal beginning of season was to, not necessarily look at the win-loss record we had, because we knew we were going to play a very competitive schedule for a Christian school, probably what we think is one of the toughest in the country, just to prep us for the national tournament at the end of the year. For all that to come to fruition and to be able to go down there and run through that tournament the way we did against some really high-level Christian schools and some other D1 talent from all across the country, it was just a great feeling. To represent our school, to represent Christ in a positive way, we couldn't ask for anything better. It's a blessing.
Yes, and talk a little bit about your coaching background. I'm sure this is one heck of an achievement. I know you've come here and stepped into a big situation and had a great impact on these players' lives. Talk about your philosophy coaching and your background.
Sure. I've got an old saying that a coach a long time ago told me, is if you could teach them about Jesus, basketball is easy. So I've sort of adapted that motto to my coaching philosophy. That's why I love being here at the Christian school and being involved in the way that I am. Started off forming our own AAU team called the Ashland Heat back several years ago. Had instant success with that. I took a bunch of first graders and second grade kids from eastern Kentucky. End up, when it's all said and done, won a state championship our first year. We came out and won 174 consecutive basketball games, 2.5 years without a loss in our age. And again, just a blessed opportunity to have some really good parents and athletes on that team. So we built that from being the little Ashland Heat team that everybody used to call us on a national level into Kentucky Elite franchise, which I had for a few years as well. Ran everything out of Ashland at the time. So we expanded out, having a couple of other teams along the way, and won a lot of games. Ended up winning 3 national championships with our program, 3 or 4 state championships with that. So my background has come from the AAU realm of everything. So people ask, how do you come from Catlettsburg, Kentucky to Scott Depot, West Virginia to go to school every day? I get that a lot. And to be honest with you, it's just that God opens the door up. This crazy story was I just met someone that had some affiliation here. Just fell in love with what they were telling me. Came to the school, met Mr. Davis and Mr. Sowards at the time. Just fell in love with the school. Felt like it was a good place for my son. Had no plans of coaching. Okay, I gave it the AAU world up to be there for my son, going as a 5th grader, 6th grader at that time. So, spent a year here, did not coach. Got conned into being a bookkeeper for the middle school basketball team a year. And the next thing you know, God just he knocks again, opens the door up, and says, "Hey, this is what I want you to do." And this led to that. And here 3 years later, we've got a state championship. Had a state championship appearance my first year, won the state championship USBA my second year, and a national championship my third year. So blessed, to have the opportunity and to work hard and see a lot of good kids develop through the years. Josiah Davis this year going to WVU. What a blessing. His school's developed him and nurtured him coming in from Canada. And then we have 5 kids right now on our roster that's all being actively recruited. And will all sign somewhere probably in the next 3 to 6 months. So, it's just a great place to be. I've been very fortunate to have some great athletes and a strong community to back us up. So we're excited where we're going and where we've been, and hopefully we get another taste of it next year. So.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned your kids and just what a great group of young men this is. One thing about them that stood out was their attitude and their character. And what do you tell them about sharing their faith in Christ?
we carry the cross. That's our motto. We carry the cross everywhere we go, and that's doesn't matter if we're in practice or if we're in a national championship tournament or we're out on the street and at Sheets getting breakfast. These kids know how to act. They carry that with them. They're always a good testimony, whether it's opening a door up for somebody or saying thank you, saying hi to somebody, putting a smile on their face. It's just the culture we have here, and that's a lot of places try to do that, and a lot of places have it as well. But it just takes nurturing as a coach and my staff of us just being father figures to kids. And they have great parents too, and just leading them and leading by example and understanding when adversity hits in the season, it's not something you look at as a negative thing or something that's going to bring you down. It's actually something that you learn from that lifts you up. And this year was a perfect example of that. So great kids. I won't take all the credit for them. They've got some good parents too, and the school does a really good job with them too. So.
Yes, and you mentioned adversity. One thing that always seems to go against the school is just the numbers. You had, I believe, 83 kids in the entire school, and of course the team you defeated in the national championship had over 2,000. So that's always something that just not having the numbers. How do you approach that situation?
It's always going to be next game. It starts with your scheduling philosophy. A lot of Christian schools operate with just competing against other Christian schools or within your own conference and let that sort of be it. My goal, and I feel like my part of coaching, is to get these kids out into the collegiate aspect, out into these colleges on different levels playing basketball so they can go be a testimony where it's really, really, really needed. Sports is an evil place. We all know that, right? And to get these kids, especially like Josiah, going out into D1 and knowing that we're sending a great basketball player, but even a greater person into these places, that's leadership for him. That's developing. That's being a testimony, a disciple for God in everything you do. So we're a very, very small school. I have a feeling we're growing. Our program's continuing to grow. It's not an opportunity for us to necessarily always get better at basketball, but to get more kids in here and teach them about Christ and give them an opportunity.
Yes. Well, Coach, it's very well said, and thank you for being on today, and be sure to stay tuned. We'll have more interviews coming up, and one of them will actually be with Josiah Davis. So be sure to check that out, and thank you for watching today, and we will see you soon.